Hey guys, this is Tom with DraftMagic.com, and I'm just going to be doing a quick two-man queue here with the changes we made to the Puresteel Collar deck. So just to kind of go over what we've done, in the last two events, which were 4-round dailies, ended up making an important change with Vapor Snag main deck, and ended up taking out the Ponders to sort of replace them with the Snags, which has been a very, very beneficial change, I think, for this deck. It really needed some form of removal, outside of the combo, and I think this really kind of shores that up. In addition, it kind of plays double duty and allows us to protect our combo pieces with the Puresteel Paladin, and gives us sufficient tempo as well. But the other change that I've made here is I looked at shaving one of the gut shots, ended up taking out two of the tutor targets just to kind of streamline the deck, at least for game one, and replace them with Mana Leak main. Part of the reason for this choice is because one of the troublesome matchups has been Wolfrun Ravager, and kind of having the main deck Mana Leaks I think is really going to help this matchup, just because in almost every game where they resolve a Titan, we pretty much lose if we don't already have the combo in place. So there of course are situations where we can assemble the combo the next turn and still win, but beyond pretty much a turn or two of having a Titan in place, the game's pretty much over. So being able to counter that Titan is so important, and it's also very important in the Solar Flare matchup, which is becoming much more of a big threat here in the metagame, allowing us to counter important spells like Sun Titan, also allowing us to counter spells like Curse of Death's Hold in Esper Control, being able to stop threats such as Day of Judgment. So a lot of problem cards are really answered by Mana Leak, I think. As a result, in the sideboard, end up shaving down to 3 swords, cut a Mental Misstep, and then put 2 of the tutor targets there on the board, just to kind of help us meet those needs there as well. So I think that going down to 3 missteps is fine, just because between having the Vapor Snags, the Gut Shots, we actually have a pretty good game plan against Delver already. So being able to cut cards is actually a little bit more difficult, since we're trying to fit both Spellskite in, we're trying to get Mental Misstep in, Oblivion Ring, so we have a lot of good valid cards in the deck already, so I'm pretty happy with this change. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and do a 2-man, see how it goes, and let me know what you guys think. Looks like we are on the play. Certainly happy with this hand. I can see this hand doing pretty well. We've got decent mana, Snapcaster into Vapor Snag, so probably not going to run out with the Grafdigger's Cage on turn 1, just because we don't know what we're up against. And we have a lot of game with our Snapcasters already. Now, I mean, if we're up against something like Frights, or if we're up against Pod, it's going to be a great choice to get that Grafdigger's Cage down. Or even Solar Flare. Okay, still not sure what we're up against. Could be Solar Flare, could be Esper Control, could be some form of Delver. I think here we're just going to pass, see what he does, and then potentially end of turn run out of Snapcaster just to start beating down. Okay, so we are up against Delver. Ratchet Bomb, yuck. And I think we're just going to start beating down here. Now, like at this point, we could try to smoke out the Ratchet Bomb with the Grafdigger's Cage, but I think I'd rather just keep beating down. We could also copy the Ratchet Bomb, but I think we actually just want to go Paladin here and just see what he does, leaving Vapor Snag backup. We could also potentially just wait and then Vapor Snag whatever he plays and run out of Snapcaster, but you know, it's kind of, he's sort of going to get us for value with the Ratchet Bomb right here. But I think we do want to keep beating down. And I think, I mean, here we can leave Snag up, but you know, he's not going to get to 2 in one turn. He's probably going to wait on it. So I think we're just going to, well, I mean, they run Snapcaster also, so it's kind of, you know, are we going to get value out of our Snapcaster? I think we just sit, actually. I mean, building Metalcraft is good, but you know, at the same time, I don't know if we can bait him out with the Grafdigger's Cage, and we also have potential value here out of this Vapor Snag with Snapcaster. So up against Esper Delver. The main deck Ratchet Bomb is an interesting card to see here. I you know, definitely have seen it, you know, post board, but I don't usually see the Ratchet Bomb main. It could be so maybe it's like a one of. Okay, so now we're going to try to see if we can go for some value here. Okay, so now, I think at this point here we want to swing in, see what he does. We could just like equip Collar onto the Snapcaster, but then we lose Paladin when he sacrifices the bomb. So I think we just bash in, see what he does. If he has Snapcaster backup, then we can always Vapor Snag. I think we just run out Champion and just kind of force him to make a move at this point. Okay, so now I think we just snag back our Champion and set up our next turn with the a little bit more value out of the Snapcaster. If he's got Mana Leak, I guess he gets us here, but that's fine. So I guess this is actually looking like a form of either Esper Control, or it looks like it might be Solar Flare. Especially the Ratchet Bomb should have tipped us off. I guess I didn't expect to see Thought Scour in that deck, but this could be like Esper Super Friends, which is looking like what it might be. So kind of, I guess with that in mind, we're happy to drop down Grafdiggers. So I guess this turn he probably goes Wrath. Then we just try to rebuild with Champion. So it looks like he does not have the Wrath mana, unless he has Black Sun, which is certainly possible. Otherwise we're just going to expect a Lingering Souls with Mana Leak backup. Okay, so now we're very happy to drop down and hopefully resolve Grafdigger's Cage, assuming he doesn't have the... It looks like he's only got 1 mana up, so we should be fine. Setting up his shenanigans with the Sun Titan, no doubt. Alright, so here I think we just drop down Champion and Grafdiggers and Sigil. No reason to trade Snapcaster for a Spirit. I mean, unfortunately, we weren't able to get more value out of Vapor Snag there, but I think it's certainly worth turning off double Lingering Souls. And Forbid. So like at this point, I mean, hopefully we are actually able to use one of our mana leaks if we can end up drawing one, and just sort of waiting for Sun Titan to come down. Probably going to try to hang on to our Metamorph just once Sun Titan shows up to try to get some more value. Especially since we don't want to just walk it right into like a Wrath. Okay, triple Lingering Souls. Very happy we shut down the graveyard there. So like at this point, I guess at this point we're probably just racing. Looks like he's probably short on mana. Definitely stuck on the second plane. Plans, and then also, if he doesn't make it to 6, we can hopefully dodge Titan for a little while here. So let's see, he attacks for 2. We drop Snapcaster main phase. And I guess we trade Champion for 2 spirits. Okay, so I guess he's not even attacking. He's probably afraid of like Gather the Townsfolk or something like that. Okay, so there's the Vapor Snag. What we can do is we can, let's see, I mean if we Snapcaster, he's just going to block with a Spirit. I suppose we can get him, you know, if he decides, if we like attack with Champion and he decides to block with 1 Spirit. Problem is he could just like block with all 4 Spirits and then we really don't get much value. I guess it's probably still worth it. I think we shove with Champion, see what he does. I mean, we could attack with Snapcaster also, but I really just doesn't seem to be that much value. I think we just attack with Champion, see what he does. So I think we really need to break the deadlock here at this point. Hopefully just blocks with 1 Spirit, we can just like get a little bit of value. So I guess he's going for 3, so question now is it worth it to kill his token? And I'm not sure that it is. Like I think we probably definitely Snapcaster here just to take 2 of them out. I'm not sure we waste the Vapor Snag though. Because we can Vapor Snag at any point, so I think we just bring in Snapcaster. Well, otherwise we could just snag our Champion, but that seems kind of terrible. Yeah, I think we just bring in Snapcaster and take out 2 Spirits here and call it a day. So now he's just trying to get to 6 or possibly double white. He probably has like at least one Sun Titan in hand. Possibly Day of Judgment. He could also be getting ready for Elishnorn, possibly. Or maybe Gideon. So very happy to hang on to Mana Leak here. I think we just kind of need to break the deadlock here. I think we have to Vapor Snag and just trade a Snapcaster and start pushing just to get some threat on the table. I don't think we... Oh, O-Ring. Yeah, we definitely don't want O-Ring to show up. I think we have to counter that. We can turn off his graveyard. So, none of that. Hopefully he doesn't have the Mana Leak back up. And at this point, we're really in trouble if he ends up picking up Sun Titan. So we're probably going to hang on to the plains just in case he plays Liliana. Although he'd probably go for the sacrifice deck just to kind of play around it because we can. I mean, granted, if we play the plains and then draw plains next turn, and he has... we need to drop Metamorph, might be more worth it. I think it's probably okay to leave the plains in hand. Could possibly have like Grave Titan here, or Consecrated Sphinx. Either one would be very, very unfriendly. And I guess it's just the 4th Lingering Souls. Wow. Now we play out the plains just so we have the Mana Leak back up for our Mana Leak. Ugh, yuck. Nothing we can do here, unfortunately. So now he pretty much makes an Air Force, and we need to either assemble the combo in short order. That's pretty much our outs at this point. Yeah. We could also just time him out. He's been playing unbelievably slow. So like we could counter this. I don't think it's worth it though. I mean, well, let's see. We get beaten down. He probably plays. We could lose this just as easily as the Titan. Ugh. Not sure if we want to counter this or not. Now, obviously, he knows we have the mana link. Yuck. I think since he's got 3 more, we just let it sit. Good lord. Might have been right to well, probably was correct actually to counter that. It's hard to know. I guess he put so much pressure on us just by doing it that maybe mana leaking there is probably correct. Yeah, now he kills us in like 3 turns with his lingering soul tokens, so probably should have mana leaked there. At this point, we just need to start slowing down the beats. Hopefully he trades. Yep. We could, I mean, we could, if we really need to, copy a spirit. But I don't think it's quite to that point just yet. At this point, we definitely counter his second Lingering Souls if he goes and tries it twice. Now he knows we've got the mana leak. Desperately trying to play around it, which is fine. So I think here, since we know that we can't really play around mana leak I mean, we can't play around his other Lingering Souls. He just does it 2 more times. What is our play here? We could copy, well, we could copy the Paladin, I suppose, and try to just combo out desperately. Otherwise, we could copy a Spirit, try to slow down the beats. I don't think that's the way to win. I think we just need to kind of go big or go home on this one. I think we just copy Puresteel, see what he does. If he has the counter, if he has the Wrath, any number of things that if he has here, we're just done. So I guess he has Elishnorn instead, which also just gets it done. Yep, and so if we had the counter, I mean, it would have been a little bit better there, but the thing is he could have just played Lingering Souls twice and still killed us, so I think that's fine. Okay, so against Esper Super Friends, bring an O-Ring, Sword, Purge. Most likely we're going to be running into Curse of Death's Hold. It's also good against the black Planeswalkers. Spellskite to redirect his O-Rings. Hex Parasite. Okay, so what do we take out here? Gut Shot doesn't really do anything. Vapor Snag is okay. I mean, it does get rid of some of his tokens, but it's mostly good at protecting our own guys from wrath effects. Collar's quite good. Could be cutting Snapcaster since we're going to be going for Grafdiggers and trying to protect it. What else do we cut? Let's see. Now I don't know if this version runs Death's Hold. It might. You never know. I mean, it's always good to sort of have it. This is still good at taking out like Deadweight, for instance, or Liliana. So they're still playable. There's still options we have for Celestial Purge. What else did we cut? I think we are going to shave down on the combo a little bit. Just because he's so wrath heavy. I think we cut down to Collar, Mortar Pod. We really want the Grafdigger's Cage and Parasite. So if we shave down to 2 Pod, 2 Collar, I think we're going to hedge here and run 1 Purge, just to kind of see if he's running Curse of Death's Hold or not. It's hard to know. We can maybe cut down to maybe like 3 Vapor Snag, and I think we want everything else. So I think this is actually fine. Great turn 1 Grafdiggers, but not going to work. Hand is a little bit better. It's still pretty rough considering we don't have a second land source. Now, I mean, if we can go into like 3 land, it gets better, but not sure you want to go to 5 on this. It's kind of tough. I don't know. I think we almost have to sort of be greedy here and keep this just because, you know, we're already down a game. You know, we're shorthanded. We need to kind of make something happen here in this game. And I think that going to 5 may just sort of inevitably lose us the game here. We need the extra card. Plus, I mean, if we do draw land here, we're pretty much just fine. But, of course, we do not. So it might have been right to go to 5 there. I still think that there's an argument for staying at 6, just because we are down a game. We really have to make something explosive happen to get back into this match. And because this deck mostly runs on 2 mana. So, being out of mana for a turn there, I'm not sure if it's going to cost us there. I think at this point we want to just go ahead and lead out with Paladin. It'd be nice to have backup with Paladin, but then again he could have counters. I think we just want to go Paladin here. I think he's probably running Disperse, most likely Mana Leak, so trying to slip the Paladin under the wall of counters is definitely going to be a good move. He is also running a number of different removal pieces, so such as Ratchet Bomb. Now here, though, I mean, we can keep the Ratchet Bomb off anything meaningful by going for Trinket Mage into Hex Parasite. We could also just drop down Sword here, and then, you know, potentially have the mana next turn to use Hex Parasite, although I don't think that's the play. Well, let's see here. So if we Sword, and then he goes up to 1, and then next turn We equip sword with Vapor Snag back up. He goes up to 2, tries to get our paladin. That's actually not too bad. And with Hex Parasite we can keep Ratchet Bomb at 0. But getting sword into play is so powerful. I think we just actually want to go for sword here. And we just simply drew Hex Parasite, so that works. So this way he'll go up to 1 on Ratchet Bomb. We can use Hex Parasite to bring it back down to 0. I mean, obviously he's going to kill Hex Parasite in response. Then we can Vapor Snag in response to that. Okay, and he does have the O-ring back up, which is unfortunate. So what's the play here? I think we just drop Parasite. I think we bash in first. Trinket Mage for Grafdiggers. No, I don't think we do that. I think we Hex Parasite with 2 mana up with Vapor Snag back up, I think is the play. We could also like drop Gather here and then just... Actually, I mean, if we drop Gather and then he goes up to 2, then we Vapor Snag in response to his Ratchet Bomb. It's actually not that bad. That way we could go like... Yeah, I guess I think Vapor Snagging our Paladin in response to Ratchet Bomb is probably fine. The problem with that play though is that then... Well, I mean, actually that way we can get Trinket Mage down with Grafdiggers and have it out of range of the Ratchet Bomb, so that's fine. This way we can also feign Mana Leak. And actually now here, if we want, we can just... Well, we want him to blow them with the Ratchet Bombs, so that's actually fine. We could have actually just like end of turn there, Vapor Snagged our own Paladin, just so he doesn't have the option of killing it, then he just has a Ratchet Bomb at 2. Gideon. So now Hex Parasite becomes pretty good. So I guess Gideon just gets Puresteel, and then we just Vapor Snag in response, and he Ratchet Bombs in response to that, and still gets us. I guess he just like goes to 8 on Gideon and tries to Ratchet Bomb our Paladin. Yep, looks about right. Okay, so there's Sword. I guess the play here, like we could War and Peace, but then he just knocks Ratchet Bomb in response. I think instead we want to attack, have him Ratchet Bomb, Vapor Snag our Paladin, replay the Paladin, and then prepare for War and Peace the next turn. Okay, so now we just paper snag in response. Problem is, like, now he's setting up Sun Titan for Ratchet Bound, which is pretty rough. And like, we could drop down Puresteel here, or like Trinket Mage for Graph Diggers. It's still going to be Puresteel, actually. We could also like just drop down Hex Parasite, but I really don't like dropping Hex Parasite without being able to use it immediately, because then if he rats us, he just gets us. So like now we just like really hope he doesn't go directly into really either Day of Judgment or Sun Titan. They're both pretty bad. So we're in a pretty rough spot at this point. Yeah, so that is unfortunate. Problem is we still have to play something there to like make a threat, so it might have been better if we Trinket Mages, just so we had, you know, better use of our mana, but you know, it's kind of that way. If we did have everything survive, we were able to play Sword of War and Peace the next turn, maybe draw the cards so we can attack and get value, so it's just hard to know. Okay, so now I think the play here, we can Trinket Mage. Like, I mean, we could Trinket Mage for Graph Diggers. I don't think it really matters that much, actually, though, just because, like, with War and Peace, we can just walk right through his flyers anyways. You know, so it's fine, but otherwise, like, our other play would be to, like, drop Gather into War and Peace, which is pretty good. And then, like, we can Hex Parasite his guy next turn. So I think that's just our play. I think we're going to go ahead and drop War and Peace, hope it sticks, and then just drop Gather. If he has the leak here, he just gets us. This also I think is a little bit better just because if he has Deadweight, he can just totally get us. Alright. See, the plan at this point now is just to make sure that he pretty much times himself out. But, that may not happen here. And that is definitely pretty rough here. The intangible virtue out of nowhere. It's like at this point we're not even gaining life, we just need to... How do we come out of this? I think that, I mean, even if we drop Hex Parasite here, it's pretty rough. Like, he just makes getting into a guy bashes for 10. What is the play? I think that... Let's see, because if you equip Sword, we get him down to 5. Not a big deal. If we drop Trinket Mage, we can get... What do we pick up? Trinket Mage into Collar. Or Graph Diggers doesn't really help us too much. I think we just go Trinket Mage and then equip Sword. And I think that's gotta be the play. And like what we could do here, we could equip the sword to one of the humans and get the Gideon down to 5 or whatever, but I don't think that really matters right now, just because he's already at 8. So I think instead we're just going to go ahead and equip sword to the Trinket Mage, just to make sure that we can actually have that live through his Gideon when he bashes in with it next turn. So now he just blocks our guys, the soldiers, and then he swings in for a whole lot of business on his turn. So like here he probably goes activate Gideon, bashes everybody. Hopefully he doesn't have the... If he has another O-ring here, it's pretty rough. It's pretty much curtains. So by having the sword here, he at least kind of, we get a little bit of value of being able to attack in with our Trinket Mage next turn. Now, may or may not be able to stabilize, but at the same time, it's not the worst. And he does have the Oblivion Ring. Okay, that's pretty rough. So O-Ring Sword, he bashes with Gideon, swings for 10. If we trade with Soldier... Actually, I'm sorry, he swings for 12. We trade with the Soldier, we take 10, go to 3. Next turn, play Hex Parasite, go to 1, drain Gideon. And... not really going to do enough here. I think we're just dead on the table. Unfortunately, our opponent is also at 2 minutes on the clock, so it's a heartbreaking loss here. But I guess at this point we're just going to drag it out as long as we possibly can. So I guess with that in mind, we're going to go ahead, block Gideon, take 6, go to 7, and then have Parasite to chump it next turn, go to 1, and maybe he'll time himself out. Could be that he's on a very, very slow connection here. Not really sure, but we're going to have to take advantage of everything we've got here to try to win this match. Okay, so Gather is actually quite good right here. Pretty much our play is going to be drop Parasite. Yeah, basically just Gather, Parasite, and then we could even have like Mana Leak backup, just so in case he goes like Elesh Norn into Get You, we actually just have a play. I think here we're just going to try to buy as much time as humanly possible, and like Absence card this turn is definitely not getting us anywhere, so we just sit, see what he does. But we could very well lose this match with like 30 seconds on his clock. And I suppose the other possible play we could have had there is just go like Hex Parasite, block Gideon, go to 1, and then like the next turn play Gather for 5. Which, I mean, there's credence for that. I mean, that might have been the right play. Okay, so like here we chump Gideon. We're not going to get Gideon down with Hex Parasite. Well, let's see. 5. to 8 counters. I think it's actually better to keep the humans around just in case we get the combo out of nowhere. Well, let's see, so we take 6, go to 1. Yeah, I think that's how we do it. And pretty much $10 against a penny says we lose with 30 seconds on the clock. So, we will see. At this point here, we're just trying to buy up his time. And with 25 seconds on the clock, it looks like we are going to lose here, unfortunately. Oh, so that is heartbreaking, but unfortunately that's how it goes. And the next turn we would have had the Oblivion Ring to take care of the Gideon and possibly get back into this game. So, anyways, thanks guys for watching. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out quite in our favor, but it was still fun. Let me know what you think about the changes to the board and to the main deck, and we will see you next time. King.